God, don't film me getting up onto the table. I'll be like, ugh. Hello, testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Yo. Like this. There was a day that I was in work chefing, and I was chatting to my colleague at the time about the ceramics, and I was like, I could be making plates for the food that I'm cooking and do it seems obvious now to think about it, but it was just like a real light bulb moment where I was like, yes. So my name is Yasmin, Hamouda, and I would describe myself as a chef, designer and maker. I'm originally from Northern Ireland, Moroccan heritage, but very Northern Irish in terms of like culture, like grew up there the whole time. I've worked as a chef for about 7 to 8 years. Alongside that, I started doing ceramic classes and got really into making tableware. And now I make plates for restaurants and cafes and cook alongside that and run my own food events. Like whenever I'm making things, I'm not just thinking about what looks nice, I'm thinking about my experience as a waitress. How is this going to stack up? You know, if somebody has to clear a table, are these going to fit together nicely even though they're different size pieces? You know, where is the boundary between art and functionality? Like, it's not just about what it looks like. There's different bits in these that all have different textures and different kinds of clays, and how that feels on your mouth and in your hands, and how you experience it all together. Like this dish that I've made specifically for butter for one of the courses on my supper club. I've spent a lot of time sanding this. It's already a really fine clay, but I've spent time sanding it with 4 different grades of sandpaper to make sure it's extra smooth to touch, and it's just got the form on it gives these soft shadows over the side that I just love. We're designed for scallops. It's quite obvious to have the scalloped edge on there that I've trimmed with a tool. I've sort of carved these little facets out. And then the material that's gone into the glaze is oyster shells that have been a byproduct of the restaurant industry. Tableware for me is like not complete until the food's on the plate. Yeah, so it's going to be the scallops sliced sideways, and then the blood orange, and I'm going to layer it up so it's kind of like fish scales in the scallop dish. And then, yeah, like I've definitely come to ceramics from a chef's perspective, and thing that I really love about using clay and food as materials to work with, and that's their like completely drastic differences in their permanence. So like food, even like you can get super faffy with like preparing it and presenting it and everything, and you know somebody's going to eat that and it's going to be gone, but you still like put all that effort into it. With ceramics, it's the complete opposite, and you know, it's going to be there longer than me, hopefully. Because look at that colour. No, it's like, look at the colour. It's incredible. And then like the beads of oil are just so good. It's like the lime juice is stronger to cure it, but then the blood orange just has that really nice colour and a bit of sweetness. If you're experiencing a really nice thing in a restaurant and the sound is such a huge part of that, it completely changes the atmosphere and you're just in a room. And I think having all these different elements like the food, the ceramics, the sound, even like the general sort of restaurant orchestra, which is like the sound of the plates and like people chatting and cutlery and all these different things, it's just, yeah, it's an incredible environment to work in. The design process for me is very much led by the location, always. I think mostly I'll get inspiration from memories of a place. I also used to look at like old mining maps and like the geology of the areas to find ceramic materials that were naturally in those spaces. But yeah, I'm a very instantaneous, like, want to just go and do it. I'll have an idea, I'll see it in my head usually, and then I'll just make it. I think that's what's so good about the wheel is the wheel, working as a thrower, shall I say, is that you can just, like, I can just have an idea and I can just make it straight away and like get to see it in 3D form instantly. That's probably how things develop. Like this particular plate that I did for Kiln in Soho, although the design was based on Thai architecture because it's a Thai restaurant. So I was looking at those like tapered roofs, like the Thai roofs. But in order to get to the point where I was like doing just these three very prominent lines, it was just by trialing it on the wheel at the time. It's like Christmas every time it comes out of the kiln. That's so good. I just love that. I love that, like, it's like, this is a good parallel between the kitchen and the studio, is whenever chefs get really used to a space and they get used to their kitchen and they know where everything is and they're in the flow of service, you're just like, you're throwing stuff into the sink from like meters away. Somebody throws you something and you stick your hand out, you're not even looking at it. You're like some kind of like, I've just thrown this completely by memory, and then whenever I went to check the measurement, it's exactly, okay, maybe like 1 mil out or something, but that's close enough. I feel like I've got a lot of output to go. Like, I've got the food, the ceramics, and I really want to explore like the audio side of things. The future of Yasmin Hamouda Studios going to be making tableware for other chefs and restaurants, making tableware for my own supper clubs and running my own food events, and then also like working with chefs who are running supper club events and like rent the plates out to people. And then who knows, like could be like a chef DJ or something on the side. Well, chef, potter, DJ, like who knows. I think I'll do that whenever I get my own studio. Hire a KP to do all the dishes and clean up.